Hello everyone. In this video I will be going through the construction of my 4 by 8 foot modular S-scale American Flyer layout. The layout's made up of 4 separate 2 by 4 foot sections that come together. I used the computer SCARM software to help create the blueprints seen here. Here's the construction of each separate piece. I used 1/2 inch plywood and some 3x1 beams to help support and as brackets. I also added these little bolts that can be adjusted, miniature legs, to help keep each piece level with one another. Here's the 4 sections together from the bottom. I added Homasote above the plywood on each section, then painted that with the base ground color. Here I started laying track out. Note that the final design of the layout varied a little bit from my original blueprints. Here's the final track plan laid out. Here's the start of the control panel. As you can see, I have diagrammed out the layout on the control panel, and that makes it easy to include the switches and know where I am turning off each block and which switches I'm flipping. And here is the final setup of the control panel. As you can see, I have a legacy control system with 2 power masters. As power sources, I have a power brick in the bottom left that is attached to the top left power master, and that controls the outer loop. The inner loop is controlled by the American Flyer 15B transformer attached to the next power master to the right. The 8B transformer to the far right is for the switches and the accessories. Additionally, with each of the switches seen in the diagram, the blocks of track can be switched to either power source A or power source B, adding more flexibility to running the trains. Each one of those sections and loops can also be switched from conventional mode or command mode for legacy control. Here you can see the wiring under the control panel and the wiring being started for the rest of the board. Here you can see the wiring to the board with the main bus wires going across the middle of each section. The wires can all be separated between sections and from the control panel to the board. With the wiring complete and the track laid down in its final form, I moved on to scenery. I started with the ballasting of the track. I also added additional track ties made out of foam roadbed as seen here. Here you can see I started work on the road using the Woodland Scenics road system and their plaster. For the additional wooden road crossings, I just used simple cork roadbed and painted it brown. And here is some early action on the layout. Here you can see Hobo Joe, who hangs out in the bottom left corner. Here's my custom-made milk platform. Decided to do that instead of spending $30 on an original or reproduction. The buildings are all plastic veil buildings with some weathering. Here is a Digitrax AR1 chip. I have two of these at each end. And what they do is allow the figure 8 within the oval to operate, essentially allowing the reverse loop to function as the train enters from the inner figure 8 block or from the outer straight of the inner loop. What they do is detect a short circuit when the train enters the outer curve, and it switches the polarity of the outer curve so that it matches. And here's some more action from the layout. The last clip is the final form, so enjoy.